You already know what it is. Back at this one, another video to pump out to my young boys. Maybe girls, but no, today we got to hop on here. We got to hop on here real quick, talk about this Cenat situation, man. Kai, man. I low-key hate to do this to Kai because I low-key be watching him sometimes. And I already know Kai. I know Kai. He sit up there, see this. He about to call me a clout chasing dick rider. That's all it is. He about to call me a clout chasing dick rider. But it is what it is. I gotta do it to him. I gotta do it to him. I be that. But I gotta do it to him. So for those of you who don't know, Cenat has recently announced Streamer University. This is gonna be a extravaganza where Kai gathers content creators, big and small, and they're gonna be meeting up at this college university that Cenat is apparently rented out, and they're gonna be essentially creating content for a weekend in a college kind of like format, which on the surface sounds like a excellent idea. It sounds like a great idea, but not in this society that we got, and definitely not in the streamer community can something like that really go smooth sailing. I just say, Cenat has tried events before where he's gathered people from. Actually, he ain't really, he's done the event in New York. I'm gonna just say, he did the event in New York that ended up turning into basically rioting or looting, destruction. It was basically destruction, but that was his audience. That was a link up. That was basically a meetup for Cenat and his audience, and you kind of got an idea of Cenat's audience in a nutshell. You feel me? So, what do you think that these guys are going to do at a college university campus with no supervision? Well, at least no real supervision. It's Kai Cenat is the supervision. If you want to count him as supervision, I'm sure they're gonna have security and everything like that. But yeah, man, I just can't see the whole streamer university thing going right. Even though I would like it to. That sound dope. Small content creators, big content creators, all linking up, networking, giving each other game. Like, that sound fire. But like I said, I just can't personally see that particular demographic of people and that particular head being Cenat being able to, make that go right without it being like some crazy shit happening. But in other news, Cenat has actually addressed another thing that was going on, which is oh shoot. I don't want that going. I'm about to turn that off. Hold on, give me a sec. Y'all can't see. I got pants on, but I don't want y'all to see me walking around this mud. Shalom, family. Serving of Christ. Make sure y'all double tap the stream as y'all coming in. Hit it with a like. Double tap. It don't cost nothing. World to 1K. But yeah. So Kai has actually came out. He addressed the Phantom situation. For those who don't know, Kai is a part of a group called AMP. AMP, is one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known and most popular group of black content creators on, YouTube and yeah, and Twitch and all of that. So what's going on? But yeah, so these guys is well known. One of the well-known members, one of the most popular members out of the group named Phantom, has actually came out and accused Cenat and the gang of some heinous things. He essentially said that these guys sold their souls, and everything is not what it seems. That's what he said. One of his last messages before they were saying he allegedly was kicked out was, he said, y'all sold y'all soul. Nothing is what it seemed like. Everything is strategic and planned, and Yeah, I mean, he said they sold out, but Cenat has actually responded to the allegations of Phantom being kicked out of AMP. And I want to just go over some of this stuff he said. We could break some of this stuff down because it's actually quite telling if you are familiar with body language, if you're familiar with, just even basic human communication. You can catch a lot of these guys when they're clearly trying to hide something, or they're beating around the bush. Cats are bats, cats. Now, let's see. Make sure you again hit the screen with a double tap as y'all coming in. I want to show y'all what he said exactly and break this stuff down.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. So much things has been going on. So much things has been going on. No cap. Let me go ahead. Chat. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay? It's Wacky. Thanks for the 10 gifted. Appreciate it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, gang.
So he said we about to talk about the elephant in the room. Let's see what the elephant in the room is.
So you think you know Wix, do you?
So you think that you're about to play this video.
First up, we've got Shake. Zaddy Will with the 5 gifted. Appreciate it. A whole bunch of creators are in here right now. A whole bunch of creators are in here right now. So shout out to all the creators. If you in here, if you a creator, say yo.
Man, we ain't here for this.
Okay, now listen.
All right, come on.
Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room.
He was about to say the Phantom. Then he changed him to elephant in the room. I don't know, Phantom. That sound like a roast. It's like, no.
Bro, y'all on the internet need to be studied, bro.
All right, now look. Off rip, he came in swinging. When I was watching this, I'm like, oh, he off rip shooting shots. He said we need to be studied. Let's go.
Phantom, bro, y'all on the internet need to be studied, bro. All jokes aside, bro, how do y'all get bamboozled into thinking Phantom left AMP?
Okay, we were bamboozled.
Name taken. Thanks for the 100 gifted. Appreciate it. Name taken. Thanks for the 100 gifted. Bro, thanks for the 100. Hold on. There's a lot going on right now. Hold on. Appreciate everybody. Chat, let me go ahead and say something, gang. Everybody who fell for Phantom leaving AMP, I'm not gonna lie, this just goes to show how much y'all actually watch AMP. No cap. We all know around this time or once out of the year, Phantom has to leave the US to take care of his pollen and stuff like that. You feel me? And that him doing that just led into like a whole bunch of y'all gotta understand. You being
okay. So he's saying that we got bamboozled because Phantom always leaves AMP once a year to go take care of whatever he just said. Which makes sense. I'm familiar with, that tradition of Phantom having to leave. I don't really know what the schematics of it. I thought it was like some citizenship stuff, but let's go.
X and you looking at captions and looking at a video that's clipped out of context, bro, you can't always believe that, especially on X. That's where it stems from. Especially on X.
So now we blaming X. Just peep. You gotta peep the game.
Did you hear Phantom out his mouth say, I'm out? Did you hear any of us say something like that? No, bro. So you can't always believe it that's on the internet. I was with Phantom yesterday, gang. I'm literally Phantom, bro.
One thing I noticed that he's doing right now that he wasn't doing before is he's looking at whatever screen is to his left. I think that is. He keep looking at that screen. I'm gonna actually look. I'm gonna mark the timestamp where I'm at right now. 4:38. Let's just go back 2 minutes ago. Let's see if he was looking at that screen.
Cause I ain't never seen your name before, ever. This is something that can't be paid for, my TK. I appreciate you though. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate you, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. So much things has been going on.
He glanced over there once, talking about the sub that he got, but
no cap. Let me go ahead, chat. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Not until he starts talking about Phantom does he start looking over there at whatever screen that is over there. I think that might be the chat screen, But he's constantly checking something that's over there on that side. As soon as he started talking about Phantom,
Okay? It's Rocky Days of the Tank.
it's like he's trying to get some kind of confirmation that whatever it is that he's saying is like, I don't know, lined up, adding up. He's trying to make sure the math is mathing. It look like he's trying to make sure all the math is mathing. But look again to how much that he's looking at that screen.
On X.
Want to know how to create awesome videos?
All right, clearly we need some YouTube Red in this mud.
You can do it too.
And you looking at captions and looking at a video that's clipped out of context, bro, you can't always believe that.
He checking the temp.
That's where it stems from.
He keep checking the temp.
Especially on X.
And now he's moving the goalpost. Cause it's about X. I don't know. I just find it weird. I just find this whole behavior weird. I don't know. Let me know if I'm reaching.
His mouth say I'm out. Did you hear any of us say something like that? No, bro. So you can't always believe it that's on the internet. I was with Phantom yesterday, gang.
He talking about you can't believe what's on the internet. That's nigga's favorite line. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. They love that line when you actually see something real on the internet. Every time you see something real on the internet, niggas get to saying, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. Like, bruh. You can't, but like, they only whip that out when you see something real on the internet.
Really, Phantom, bro, Phantom was so confused. Bro, I'm literally with Phantom yesterday. We talking in the crib, gang. Like, literally, gang. Sway with the 50 gifted. Appreciate it. Sway, thanks for the 50 gifted. Appreciate it. Thank you
So he said he talked to Phantom yesterday. He said Phantom's confused.
so much. Yo, everybody who's gifting right now, I really appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. I would say, if you applied and you not subbed up, please don't get hit with an ad while I'm reviewing your. Please, 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 please. Okay?
All right, so he said you got to be subbed to qualify. But let's look at what Phantom actually said. Let's review what Phantom said, bro. Because that was the end though. Surprisingly, that was the end of him talking about Phantom. He said y'all got bamboozled. Because people was posting clips and stuff out of context. They was posting Phantom clips out of context and him talking about other different things. And I guess people thought that was him talking about AMP. So some people did get tricked with that. But that was specifically like what was on Twitter. Let's look at what Phantom said himself on his personal Snapchat page. He said, I find shit funny. Everything will soon come to light. They should be thanking me. If y'all knew what I knew, y'all would understand. And this is how Phantom types. This is how he talks. I know this is how Phantom talks. They should be thanking me. If y'all knew what I knew, y'all would understand. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is always strategic from them. It's never natural anymore. Every move calculated. Funny how you gotta watch those closest to you, but that's how it goes. They think they're actual gods. We know who God really is. Their God is money. Mine's isn't. So Phantom is basically accusing these niggas of selling their souls. Long story short. And one thing I also find a bit interesting, this is kind of a tangent, but he said nothing is coincidence. Everything is always strategic from them. It's never natural. This reminds me, I was actually watching the video where Kyle was actually going through some applications for the Streamer University, and I found it interesting with that context because from my understanding, the website for the Streamer University thing crashed because millions of people was trying to get on it at a time. Like millions of people was trying to get on it. So if he has millions of applications of people that's trying to go to this Streamer University thing, it didn't make sense that he made a video where he was reviewing a handful of the applications that he said his team had gathered, which was, that's a side eye. Not saying there's something wrong with having a team, but when you're dealing with these industry cats, when they get to talk about having teams and all of this type of stuff, it get it's a little questionable. Like, who is these people? But anyway, he said his team or whatever assembled a list. Basically, his team assembled a handful of people that he could review on stream. And he did, I don't know how many he did, but it couldn't have been more than like 20. It couldn't have been more than like 20. And again, that stream was like, well, the stream clip or whatever that I seen was like an hour or something long already. And that was just off of the few that I seen them do. So we're talking about millions of applications. We talking about millions of applications. The math just didn't math. Like, you would have to really, 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 really get a lot of people to comb through that stuff. Especially if you plan on hand selecting people and picking people, yourself. Like, and you plan on reviewing the applications and really picking them. Like, to sit up there and have to pick out of millions of people, bro. That math don't really math to me. But that's one thing that didn't make too much sense. But yeah, like, this is damning though. This is damning. They think they're actual gods. We know who God really is. Their God is money. Mine's isn't. Nah, he didn't address none of this. Kai ain't said nothing about none of this here. Nothing. He talked about Phantom. He talked about, people posting the clips of old Twitch streams on X that made people think that he left AMP or whatever. And then he sat up there and he said you believe in stuff on the internet, and then he said Phantom is disappearing. He said Phantom is disappearing for he's going to. Let me make sure was that what he said? Was that the right terminology? Did he say disappear?
Go ahead and say a few things too. So, with everybody that applies, so if y'all didn't know,
all right, no, we ain't on that.
And say appreciate it. Hear Phantom out his mouth say, "I'm out." Did you hear any of us say something like that? No.
Make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit that like button.
I was with Phantom yesterday, gang. I'm literally Phantom, bro. Phantom was so confused. Bro, I'm literally with Phantom yesterday.
Hold on.
Clipped out of context. Just led it to like a whole bunch of and that him doing that, curb his pollen and stuff like that. Phantom has to leave the US to take care of his pollen and stuff like that. You feel me?
Okay. Leave the US. So Phantom is leaving. Conveniently. He's leaving around this time. He's implying that Phantom doing his annual US leave or whatever correlates to us being tricked on X that he was leaving AMP, when in actuality, the reason niggas thought he was leaving AMP is because of the stuff that he posted. He posted that niggas sold they souls. He said God is their money. Or their money is God. So I don't know, man. That's a little shady to me. It's a little shady. If somebody accused me of selling my soul and I didn't sell my soul, fuck the leaving the group. I'm about to address you saying I sold my soul first. I'm gonna be like, first of all, I did not sell my soul, and Phantom is right here. I just talked to him. And then even with that right there, like, why, a moment like this would be perfect. Wouldn't it be perfect to just call him? Wouldn't it be the right time to just simply call Phantom and be like, hey, bro, if that's my homie and I'm on stream, these dudes call each other all the time on stream. If that's my homie, we on stream, I'm going to just be like, these niggas, they over here tripping online, man. Tell them you ain't leave no AMP. No, I ain't leave AMP. Thank you. And then you can start clowning and be like, y'all really fell for that. Ah ha ha, these niggas are so stupid. Ah ha ha. But you just say you believe everything you see on the internet. He's about to lead the US. I talked to him yesterday. That's it. I don't know, man. It's a little suspect to me. Little suspect to me. I don't know what's going on with that. But if that's Phantom's actual Snapchat, and he really, he's saying all of that type of stuff, and no hack, no being hacked and all of that, which I believe he is. In my personal opinion, I believe that Phantom said all of that, and Cenat, he's one of those. He's one of those at this point. They wanted him, he was on the Grammy carpet, he got heli commercials, Met Gala after parties. Kai's plugged in. They know who has the youth. They know who is the most influential content creator when it comes to the youth. They know that. It's Kai. Simple. But yeah, it's like nothing else to that. They're gonna bro, they're not gonna let Kai slide, bro. They're not gonna let Kai Cenat slide. And he literally has a whole college university. He literally has a whole college university where he can, he had, and then this is another thing. He had the college, he got the college university now, but he had a whole prison once, didn't he? They literally gave him a prison to use. He was able to rent out a prison and do a whole prison stream. So that's where it'd be like, okay, this guy clearly has more pull than people are letting, people believe. This guy, he's talking about this type of stuff in the streams now. He's talking about he has a team of people that's doing this, a team doing that, a team setting this up, a team setting that up. Kai is not no regular degular. So I think they sat up there. I think Phantom went out on a limb, and he was upset about something. I don't know. Maybe what the world was saying he was upset about, what the internet was saying he was upset about. And I think he went on his rant. And like I said, Kai's one of those. You can't just put your lips on everybody, especially when the person is being used still, especially when that piece is still on the chessboard. You can't just put your lips on every person. You can't put your influence, take your influence, and then put your mouth on somebody like Kai. And then especially it can't come from that tight end, because niggas is gonna believe it. They can't afford Kai to get canceled. So you can't be out here talking about he sold his soul. You can't be talking about his oaths. You can't put Kai Cenat oaths on the up in public. So I think they sat Phantom down, and some negotiations some negotiation had to happen. I think some behind the scenes business had to happen. And whatever this is, I think this is the cover up. That's my opinion though. Could be wrong, could be right. So it is what it is though. As far as streamer university go, like personally, honestly, I think it's a lit idea. I really do. I just was talking about the other day. I always wanted to sit up there, not always wanted, like I'm still on that, but I once wanted to sit up there and go to university. I wanted to go to college, and I literally only wanted to go to college to party. I only wanted to do it to party. I went to community college, but I was only going to community college so I can transfer to university so I could then party. So, to have, you giving some people the college experience, some kind of college experience, I'd imagine. And, it's the classes is something that the people love. They love to stream. You giving them a platform to, again, network with lit content creators, and they can sit up there and, they can sit up there and get their clout up, off meeting some of these guys and sitting up there interacting and making content with these guys. I think that's fire. I think that's actually fire. And I think that he's sitting up there. I think this is like a blueprint. I think this is like a blueprint for some kind of like some old American Idol type shit. I can see him, keeping this going, like class of 2025, 2026, 2020, keeping it going and all of that, and they can have a annual whatever, or however many years American Idol type deal where you can find new streamer talent at the streamer university. I can see that. I can see all of that very clear. That seems fire. But I just can't get over the niggas that's doing it. You got You got the Gooners. You got the WL community at the head of this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's seeming. It's seeming. Streamer university rituals might be on the flow, man. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I might fuck around and apply. Y'all think they'll accept me if I apply? Y'all think they'll accept me still, even though I done made these videos? You think they'll accept me? Y'all think they saying this? I don't know. Bro. I ain't even in here. I ain't even here talking to nobody, bro. I ain't even here talking to nobody, bro. But it's all good though. I still love y'all nonetheless. That's the video for today, man. I just wanted to get on here and yeah, talk about this, follow up on this whole Cenat thing, man. Cause like I said, I just found his response to be a little bit questionable. So that's pretty much it. That's the video. Again, love y'all. Take care. Stay safe. I'm on y'all, boys.